Thanks for tuning in to the Exceptionals on NDTV Profit in collaboration with Nuama Private. Now, we always love to talk about numbers, but as we've told you through every episode of this series, that what often gets lost in numbers is the perseverance and the effort that an entrepreneur has taken in getting those numbers to fruition, not just in a particular year, but over decades. And in some sense, to my mind, the Exceptionals is a way to celebrate the perseverance and the story of the entrepreneurs who bring those numbers to fruition. Our exceptional today, and I'm going to refer to my notes, he's seen as the man who built India's largest private logistics empire from a one-room office. Yes, we talk about businesses being built out of garages in the last 10 years. This gentleman did it way back, and he's built it successfully, and it lasts even now. And he's institutionalized a multinational while staying humble and values driven. In fact, that's not all. On National Logistics Day, this gentleman shared a comprehensive perspective on the industry's role in India's development, thereby showcasing that he's not just thinking about his company or his sector, but thinking of the nation and nation building. On the Exceptionals today, we have Mr. Shashi Kiran Shetty of Allcargo Group. Thank you so much, Mr. Shetty, for joining in today.
Thank you very much, Neeraj. Thank you for those kind words.
No,
really
all of this
that.
is all of this is a part of a research that we've done for what you've truly done over your, if I can use the term, a career, right? But I want to start off by asking you today that a lot of people tell me that in some fashion you have redefined how logistics was or has been done in the country. Would that be a fair assessment?
No, I think first of all, I truly feel honored to be here, and I thank you and NDTV and Nuama Private for organizing this episode. I appreciate that deeply, and it will always remain as a great memory in my mind. Thank you very much for that. I think like I said, I'm blessed to have born to a very humble, value-driven family. The family which is dedicated to the nation during the early years of India's independence. And I happened to be in Mumbai city, probably at the right time, at the right place. Why I say that? Because I think the first 10 years of my life gave me opportunity to learn the trade, which I was never exposed to back home when I was growing up. Till my graduation, I never came to Mumbai. I probably once went to Bangalore. So my experience in Mumbai was fascinating to look at my work experience, to witness the ports, the foreigners, the five-star hotels, the customs officials, etc. To add to all that is the magnanimity of the international trade and the size of the ships and the scale of the ships. Fascinated me, and I say I'm blessed. So those first 10 years, I of course also started the business within those 10 years, and then the next decade was the entire liberalization of India.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Right, and the chaotic situation in the ports. So like you say, where there is problem, there is opportunity, right? But there are no funds to support and back. So that was a kind of a situation where you really had to struggle. And to add to that, you had responsibilities from the family, personal ambition to grow. I saw in very early days, if I continue to work from executive, I may become a manager, at the most may become a general manager. So I thought, this is not for me. I cannot be spending my life doing this for the rest of my life. So that gave me also that problem and the opportunity. Problem when I say problem of for myself to succeed, problem of looking after the family, and the opportunity of chaotic situation and the opportunity of India opening up. So I was in the middle of all that. So I call it being lucky, being blessed to have what I have been able to do in a humble way. And obviously, most importantly, I'm also very blessed to have a great team of people, young people who always been with me. And then as we grew, we've been able to attract greater talent into the organization. So that also something that I extremely value because logistics is a business where it is a services business. You can't touch and feel a product. It is always about continuously deliver value to your customer, bring transparency to the customer about their shipment. Everybody is anxious. You know, like when we get on the plane, we want to reach the destination, how anxious we are. So somebody is about the cargo that they have shipped. They are very anxious about that for various reasons, for their profit, for their reputation, or for the supply chain, or for meeting their own targets, penalties, or whatever it is. So they are also very anxious. So when you are anxious, what you need to know is transparency. You need to know where your shipment stands at any given time. If it is damaged, they should know it is damaged. If it is delayed, they should know it is delayed. They should know what the charges, what is it going to cost them. So all those things are very important in that point of view.
Wow, a lot of moving parts. Sir, इसमें picture बन सकती है ऐसे. I know you're a movie fan. इसमें picture बन सकती है. But anyways, I'll start from the beginning. Let me just rewind it and start from the first point. Right?
Sure.
Did it happen by accident? Because I heard you say that you did not plan for it. You went to Bangalore as well. You came to Bombay as well. So did this whole exposure to the ports and the magnanimity of the global trade and shipping happen by accident?
It is by accident because I was introduced to shipping through a job by a close relative of mine who happened to knew somebody in the shipping industry.
Oh, so you came to Mumbai thinking कि कहीं पे तो नौकरी मिल जाएगी.
मिल जाएगी. Yes. No, I came for the particular job.
Oh, that particular.
It was already kind of mentioned to me that this opportunity is there.
Okay.
So I waited for 1 year to get myself a job after my graduation. I was to go to the Middle East to work because some relatives used to work in the Middle East, but they couldn't get me a job. So destiny brought me to
Thank
Mumbai.
God for that.
Sometimes I say maybe that I would have created a bigger company. I don't know, but I'm very happy where I am.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so you came to Mumbai and then
Yes.
I think this was what, 1978, 79?
78. Yeah. I graduated in 77. I came in 78.
तो आपने truly गोदी से शुरू किया.
Yes.
And you started from the docks
Yes.
in a capacity of a white collar person that you are.
Yeah.
And what happened then? I mean, because I heard you say in your answer that sometime in the 90s you realized that this was not for you. But between the 90s and the 1978, there were 12 long years. So tell us a bit about what happened to Shashi Kiran Shetty then as he started this journey.
So while working, obviously worked dedicatedly. I spent my time very committed to my work. With a huge aspiration to learn, because in that age, what you need to know is you need to understand the opportunities, understand the pain, understand the whole, build your personality, right? So I worked very hard. So and I needed the money also very badly, so that created a kind of a reputation for myself within the industry. This young man is there whenever you need it. My employers respected me, my colleagues respected me, going out of the way. And I was also lucky because some of my superiors in the first company I worked, they all left to join another company. So at 22, I was almost heading a company where I was working.
Wow, okay.
So maybe they did a wrong decision or right decision. Unfortunately, that company doesn't exist anymore, not because of me. But but they gave me that opportunity, not titling me as a CEO or whatever. So they had the confidence that this guy will manage it somehow. So unfortunately, they lost that particular agency, foreign shipping agency they used to represent. They lost that business because that company went out of business. So anyway, so I learned a lot. So my focus was to learn and save as much as I can, right? And the problems were galore in the port. Port used to be congested. Ships used to wait for more 30 days to come inside the port, sometimes even 60 days.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, those are the kind of situation. And fortunately, also we were handling ships not only in Mumbai port, across the country. So I had the opportunity to also learn about the technicalities of shipping in other parts of India. So, the knowledge, and then I used to read a lot. I used to read all the magazines. I used to read, talk to the industry colleagues about what's going on. I used to meet them during the berthing meetings that used to happen. So that's how the learning curve went very fast. And build a reputation. And then I joined I changed my job
Okay.
to work for one of the Tata Group companies.
Okay, just before I come to that,
Yes.
the ingredients that you spoke about, that you did,
Yeah.
do you believe those are the same ingredients that still apply for somebody looking to start a business or a career? Read a lot, be available all the time,
Yes.
work very hard and save well.
Yes.
Is that template still the same?
That cannot change, I think, ever.
Okay.
Because if you have to build anything,
Ah.
right, that is very, very essential,
Okay,
right?
perfect.
So I'm a big believer in that. Working hard, working smart, and working as a team.
And reading a lot.
And reading a lot.
And saving well.
Managing your finances well. I think that ingredient never going to change.
Thank you. I
Should
couldn't
not
help
change.
but squeeze that. A lot of startup
Yes.
entrepreneurs will be watching this, so
Yes.
therefore it's important.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
then you joined a Tata Group company. Sorry.
Correct.
Yeah, please
I
continue.
worked there for another 2 years.
Okay.
And in Tata Group, they used to represent some of the largest shipping companies of the world. The Maersk line, the CMA, CGM, companies like that used to be represented by that company. So I joined them also to learn and also to get myself branded. Like for example, if you work for LVMH versus you work for Prada or any other small lower brand, so it will have a even better brand for yourself. And then you meet more people, you get more exposure. So that's how I decided to join Tata Group. And then I found myself like a fish out of water, because it's very structured. It has got all processes are laid out. So somebody who was working, involved in everything in the business, you come and work in a very structured organization, it's a very different ball game, right? So I thought myself, it's not for me. And then I thought, what next? So that's when the idea came about buying a forklift. Because things were getting, containerization was increasing in those days in India. And a lot of cargo used to come into the warehouse, which used to be stuffed into the container. To stuff in the container, you need forklifts to take the cargo from the warehouse into the container. And there also used to be a lot of break bulk ships used to come. And in the break bulk ships also, you have to bring cargo from the warehouse to the hook.
Sure.
And take it on the import side, take the cargo which is discharged onto the docks back to the warehouse to stack, right? And then you need cranes to load it on the trucks. So you need trucks for that. So the idea came about, why not we start with the forklift, because obviously I had a very limited capital, and started that way. But we just running one forklift is not going to keep you engaged, because the forklift is being operated by a forklift operator. You have to have mechanics to repair it, and you need a set of people to book more forklifts. Because when a customer needs, say, I have one, but they need 5, then what do? Then you have to build an ecosystem to take it from somebody else and supply. So you create your obligation, you complete your obligation, and then you make some money out of that. And that is how the whole thing started. But while I was starting that, I thought I must also handle the ships, because handle the ship means when you discharge, you need forklifts, then you need trucks to carry it behind into the warehouse or outside the warehouse or at a distance which is within the port. Then you need something to offload it. So all that is required. So you create that ecosystem with the other friends and in the industry. And then I get the contract, I get all these equipment from them, and then handle it for the shipping company. We use my services. That is how we established,
Now, I have a question though.
Yes.
Here, right? This would be what, year 1990?
It is 1982.
1982.
82, 4 years.
4
After
years
working
into your
4 years. Yeah, I was 25.
Okay, so I have you mentioned that you needed the money badly.
Correct.
You already mentioned that to me.
Yes.
You were in an era wherein, my father has been in his business for like 60 years. They don't think of moving.
Yeah.
And people who were in a service industry back then, I presume,
Yes.
like to remain in that service industry as well. So in some sense, what you did
Yes.
was remarkable on many fronts.
Right.
That you needed money, but you took a risk of leaving a
Yes.
job,
Yeah.
a steady income job,
Correct.
to set up a business which could have done well, but you didn't know for sure, right?
Right.
How does one get that conviction, gumption,
Yeah.
or is it कि risk लेते हैं देखते हैं क्या होता है? How does it work?
I think two things. In my case, both happened, right? I needed the money, which a job couldn't have fulfilled my responsibilities. for the family and for me personally. Second is the opportunity what I saw. And I'm not taking a big bet because I'm not investing too much of money. I'm not borrowing any money from anybody. It is a small amount I started with. And I thought this is definitely going to be something because I've seen so many people prospering. There are many transportation companies in the port because our business, end of the day, even then, was quite entrepreneurial. I have seen, okay, most of them are old families, they have started many years ago. In my case, it was obviously the first generation. But I thought that there are so many entrepreneurs, and I'm sure I'll be able to make it.
Nice.
And the confidence I already had, and I was willing to work hard. I was anyway working very hard. And, worst, I will always get a job because I learned the business, right? So I think it was a combination of risk-taking, combination of identifying the opportunity, and the willingness to work hard, and the reputation that I built in the industry, the friends I made. I mean, reputation is not maybe a big word, but I had few friends in the industry by then, and I knew that they will give me business. And I had also made some relationship with the suppliers because I was using their services when I was working for Tata Group and my previous company, ITTS. So that ecosystem is there. And then also there are many young people who, Mangalore is a place where a lot of young people who come to Mumbai, and they are willing to work hard and they have nothing else to do, right, other than work. So I got 3-4 people to also join me as my employees. And then it all worked, fortunately. It took a lot of effort, obviously, because when you don't have money, you don't have money to pay your vendors. So you have to, always navigate, negotiate, or delay. Sometimes I must admit my checks also are bounced. I had to go and sit to the bank manager.
तब जेल नहीं होती
begging him, जेल नहीं होता था. So I had to sit with the bank manager, convince him, be friend to him, and get your checks approved. Go and convince your customer why I need the money, how badly I need the money. So those were really, really hard days, and many times you don't have money to have your lunch also. Wow. It was tough.
Quite
obviously.
something.
Yeah.
So as you beautifully described it. By the way, I think the one thing that stands out in this conversation thus far, you use the term work hard and work at least 7 times, which means that वो काम से कोई, there is no other alternative to hard work for building a successful business, that I'm sure of.
Right.
But this exceptional mindset, and I used the term exceptional quite a lot here because truly that is what we are trying to do via this series, right?
Yes.
This exceptional mindset was forged early. You were 25 when you got this business idea as well.
Yes.
And somewhere in my research I read that while you were servicing the ships or doing the forklift business or whatever else you may have been doing,
Right.
you had this dream of even owning ships, is it?
Yes,
So
yes.
like you dreamt big very early in your life.
Yeah, I dreamt big, but not in the very early days, obviously. It is fascinating. Owning a ship was fascinating, right? So, and that is what the career you started with, serving a shipping owner at the end of the day.
Right.
And serving a shipping owner and then to become a ship owner is ultimate, right? It is like a movie star producing a movie himself or herself and making it a success. So it's somewhat like that. So it's a passion. It was not a determined strategy, but I would have loved to. That was the mindset was.
Right.
And also the other thing that drove towards my further career in life is that beyond transportation and handling in the port can only make you as much big as, it's a limited opportunity in that sense.
Okay.
So I had to do beyond that. And shipping is something that I really loved as a business. So transportation in the port is not really a shipping business. It's more a transportation business, handling and transportation business. Then your whole horizon doesn't change, right? Knowing knowing and interacting with other transportation companies or truck owners or management in the shipping agency. So my ecosystem would have been only that. I enjoyed it, obviously,
Of course.
and I loved it, but I wanted to go beyond. I always saw many of my senior colleagues in the shipping industry, how polished they are, how exposed they are, how smartly they talk, right? How they travel and meet foreign shipping lines. The whole ecosystem of the chamber, the associations, the managing and interacting with the chairmen of the ports. So these things also kind of fascinated me.
Interesting.
And I thought that, and I was doing it to some extent, a small extent in my early job, right? So I wanted to get back to that. And that is how my ambition into ship owning and getting into international shipping dream
all came about.
Or that idea came about.
Got it. But the interesting thing, therefore,
Yes.
as I saw it, and as we were talking about it just before we started the interview, and you highlighted it's important to bring this out,
Yes.
that you were to yourself
Yes.
candid enough to not necessarily pursue a business, even if it may have been a part of one of your dreams,
Yes.
because it was not practical, part one, and part two, in your own business as well.
Yes.
You, as you've grown Allcargo,
Yeah.
you have not shied away from taking bets
Yes.
on acquisitions or on business decisions
Yes.
when the opportunity may have presented itself. So, some insight on both of these.
Yeah.
Not necessarily going ahead with something even if it was a dream because it was not practical, maybe
Yes.
for the business.
Correct.
And two, not shying away from taking bold bets.
Yes.
Some insights on
Yes.
these.
So, as my business got established over 10 years, in 1982 to 1991, 92,
G.
The business was successful. I was making good money. I got myself a house. I got married. Life is set. Right? I could have, and also I'm a person who like to delegate. I don't want to do the same thing. I want, like I said, I enjoy growth. I enjoy sophistication. I enjoy taking next level of taking the company forward, etc. And I see more value in myself than doing the same routine job. Not necessarily routine job, but what I was doing, and I'm already doing it, and why keep doing it? And the young people who are with me also need to grow. So they also need to. I always think very empathetically about the people who are with me, and I put myself in their shoes to see, am I fair to them? Can I do better for them? Can I, if I have grown, why can't they grow? So sense of gratitude, the sense of that, in a way you can say obligation, because somebody trusted me, somebody, is with me. So I must do something good for them also. This is a combination of also that. And coming back 10 years later, with my, my goodwill in the industry and some of the very good friends that I made in the industry, I used to regularly meet them, go out for a drink, have dinner, things like that. And when we meet, you always discuss about what are the things going on, what are the opportunities. So one of my very dear friend called Dinesh Lal, who I was very regularly in contact with, and he mentioned about a Belgian company wanting to come to India to establish their business. Okay, so he introduced them, to be fair to them, to 3 different people. 2 of them are well-established freight forwarding companies of second, third generation, and third one was me. And whatever they saw in me, the Belgians decided to work with me. They wanted to start a joint venture with me.
The Belgians really love you, right? You've been
Some
awarded
reason.
a very high civilian honor as well, if I'm not wrong.
That's much later.
Yeah,
of
okay.
course.
And we'll come to that also, but yeah, I just remembered that, yeah.
So they decided to work with me, and we started a joint venture with them, and that is how Allcargo was founded. My previous company was called Trans-India Freight Services Private Limited.
Okay.
And Allcargo was founded with the joint venture with the Belgians, right? So that is how we started. And the business idea came in terms of doing the less than container load consolidation, because till then the shipping lines used to consolidate the cargo and have their own containers and put it in their own ships.
Right, of course.
And that became a very complicated job for them, because their focus is to fill the ship, not to fill a container.
Right.
LCL is about less than 10% of the global trade. So they are not too much worried. And this LCL normally are by small to medium companies, and they want a much deeper, much faster service.
So LCL is loading the goods in the container.
in the container.
Okay.
And we take the container from the shipping lines on voyage to voyage basis.
Sure.
We don't take any capacity risk.
Yeah.
We don't sign any long-term contracts, but we on a need basis we take a container from the shipping lines.
Sure.
And there are obviously a lot of restrictions in those days in the Indian pre-reform, because there was no multimodal transportation of goods act that was existing. So the banks or the trade would not honor the bill of lading we issued.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Because we are not coming under any act. So we used to issue bill of lading from a foreign company's rep as an agent. That's why AMI and we started to do the business together, because they are a foreign line. Foreign companies were allowed to issue BL, but Indian companies were not allowed to issue the BL.
Wow. These were complex times, viewers, as you can understand.
Exactly.
Interesting.
With a lot of lobbying with the government, then the government came up with the Multimodal Transportation of Goods Act.
Okay.
And under which the registration of company like ours then happened, and then we were eligible to issue the bills of lading.
Okay.
And those bills of lading are then honored by the banks, and then we are recognized as a multimodal transport operator. And we obviously had to take insurance and all that. We had to follow all those international laws.
Sure.
So that's how the entire journey started with the Belgians. And after 2 years, the Belgians realized that this is a very profitable business, and why we want to control the business. So they asked me to sell a large part of my equity.
This was which year, sir?
This was in 1995.
Okay.
95, 96.
Okay.
96.
Sure. Okay.
So within 2 years of starting Allcargo. So I was dependent on them because they were handling my containers, and they were subsidiary of one of the large shipping lines. And I said, I saw no sense in giving away my business to them. And then we got into a conversation. I told them, look, I cannot give you majority, and you can decide what your future in India is. So they decided to come and set up their own office in India. And then I started looking out for who can represent Allcargo outside India. So that is when I came in contact with EQ Worldwide.
Oh, okay.
So that's how our relationship started with another Belgian company called EQ Worldwide. So in the meanwhile, we did very well. We started out of Mumbai. We spread across the country within 2-3 years, set up about 18 different offices, and we became the largest LCL operator in the country. We were the pioneers in that business. And that business started doing very well, and AMI started on their own. So they then, they didn't succeed. They unfortunately, that much. And that's how the business started. And then the opportunity came about growing outside India. And that's how the whole series of acquisitions then followed that.
Yeah, you've done a bunch of them and through your life, right? I mean, if you did something in 2005, you also did 2020. I mean, Gati is what a lot of new age investors would remember, but there's a lot that you've done.
We acquired about 15 different companies.
Yeah.
Every year we almost acquired
So why that? I mean, you thought that it was a good way to grow because it was easy to come, or were you very choosy that it should come at a particular valuation, etc.? How do you decide this?
Everything went logically.
Hanji, of course.
Number one. The logic is that why I got interested to invest in EQ Worldwide, to be very honest, is that what happened with AMI, who wanted to come to India on their own, I thought at some stage EQ will come here. Right, I may have to go through that whole thing again. And keeping that in mind, I decided to work very closely with EQ and kind of wanted to divert their attention to look at other parts where we can work together outside India. So I got into dialogues with them, and we decided finally to start 2 companies, one in Dubai as a joint venture with EQ, and one in Singapore, because they were not in those markets. So they were coming into Dubai, and I thought that we will send our shipments there, and they will send their shipments there. It will become already a very profitable venture. So we became a joint venture company in Dubai and also in Singapore. So their attention is diverted out of India, and now relationships is better. And unfortunately for them, over the next 3-4 years, they got into serious financial difficulty.
Okay.
Because some of their ventures to go into America, go into the Scandinavian countries, they invested also into some of the non-core businesses that brought the company down to a great extent. They wanted to dilute. They had a private equity operator who wanted to, sell the company, and he would have sold it to one of our biggest competitor. So that means again, I would lose the entire network. Right. So I was in a way forced to invest in EQ Worldwide. And fortunately also, again, this is where the fortune gives you support. Indian equity market was becoming much more attractive to foreign investors. So I sold 6% of my shares to a private equity company called New Vernon and raised some $12 million. From that $12 million, I bought 50% of EQ. And that is how I became a 50% shareholder, with two conditions: that I will have my chief finance officer there, based out of Belgium, somebody who I will send, and then I will have a right to acquire the balance 50%. So they agreed to both the conditions, and that is how I became a shareholder there. And I kept the same promoters for 1 year. Subsequently, I found it's very hard to work with these people. They won't change. So then I decided to let them go.
Got it.
And gave an opportunity to the people down the line to run the company. And
sorry, no, please finish.
Yeah. So they started running the company, and then we did a lot of interventions. Next 10 years, worked with them, and then we went on acquiring many other companies.
Yeah.
The first acquisition after that was acquiring 75% of our partner in China. That was our first acquisition, which worked out very well.
Yeah, that's not too often that you hear that, right?
Yeah, in China particularly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I didn't buy 100% deliberately. Even today, he's 25% shareholder. Chinese, it's a very different market, right? So then we looked at America, and our agent in America, they were willing to sell, not willingly. I had to persuade them a lot to create a one global network, which has also benefit for them, because they will then remain in the company. They remained also for about 8 years after we acquired. That acquisition also worked out well. So we now are all over Europe, Latin America, Asia, and United States. So it's now become truly a global company. Then we started with various other interventions. Financial discipline is something that we built it with my CFO there. We did a reasonably good job on the financial side, banking and all that. And then got into the technology intervention, because this business, you must have very strong technology and data for us to make ongoing data-led business decisions.
Okay.
And you need to have one global operating system, because we are dealing with some of the top global freight forwarding companies, like a DHL, like a Kuehne+Nagel, or a DSV, UPS, FedEx. They have their own operating system. They want everything getting integrated. They want to always reduce the number of people from their side. They want a minimum calls. They want complete visibility of their shipments. So they demanded a lot of these processes, which is not possible without having one global system. And fortunately for us, we are operating globally, and it's worthwhile investing in a technology like that. And we didn't go and take somebody else's system. We built in-house system. We worked with EY and TCS. EY as a agency to capture all the processes, to be system, how you create the documentation for building the whole system. And then we floated the tender. We selected TCS to develop a system for us. And that effort took another 10 years to roll it out across the world. Develop and roll out.
Another 10 years?
Yeah, almost another 10 years.
Wow, that's a long one. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's every country is very complex.
Right?
There are a lot of localization that was required from time to time. And in the meanwhile, there are a lot of other dynamics also happening in the organization. Change management was one of the biggest challenge. Because people, particularly in Europe, how it is. The European, we all speak about Europe as a very advanced country, but there is so much of challenges on change management, getting people to work and finding good people, which is a challenge in our industry at least.
Yeah, I think most industries, the demographics currently.
That's right, exactly.
You've done multiple things. I just would want to know, what truly do you think built out the business, not necessarily to the size that it is right now,
Right.
but may have been an inflection point or turning point would be a wrong term, an inflection point of sorts. Would it be the CFS business?
I think the inflection points came at different time with different things.
So multiple inflection points.
Like say for example, starting Allcargo was the first biggest inflection point of starting the NVO business, the LCL consolidation business. That was the first inflection point because that got me from trucking company to a global shipping logistics business out of India, in India, right? So that gave me a big boost at that time. Very profitable, very scalable, very good business to be in. So many people then followed me in that business.
Got it.
After that.
Okay.
So that was the first inflection point. The second inflection point is the starting the CFS business.
This was in
2003.
Okay.
Yeah. So the story there is I wanted to set up a CFS business to serve our business in JNPT because the facilities that existed in JNPT at that time were not to the standard to which what we wanted, right? So I wanted to set that up. And then I saw that it was not a viable proposition because CIDCO was the only one who was selling the land. And they were selling the land at astronomical value. And they will sell when they think that they should sell, right? They used to come out with a tender once in 4 years or whatever. So I had no patience. So I had to do it today, right? So then I thought, what is my alternative? So I decided to go out of CIDCO limit.
Okay.
So this is a land which was fully agricultural. Maybe there was 10,000 acres of land and everything is agriculture. Everything was green. And there was one bridge connecting the CIDCO limit to this property.
This was beyond CIDCO?
Beyond CIDCO.
Near Panvel or something?
No, not Panvel. This is on the Goa, not Goa Road. It's actually...
but somewhere on the outskirts of Mumbai. For people who are not in Mumbai, just this is on the outskirts of Mumbai.
That's right. I don't know how to describe. It's on the way to Goa, but there is no road connecting to Goa.
Okay, fine.
For Goa, you have to come back to Panvel and then go.
Okay.
But this is towards Goa Road. So about 5 kilometers from CIDCO limit, let's put it there. 2 kilometers from CIDCO. So in the middle of the paddy field, I decided to buy the land and we were successful. We bought about 10 acres of land and we built world-class CFS. And fortunately for us at that time, the customs and the port were very, very keen to have more CFSs because the ports were getting congested. So we got the approval and we did a CFS launch big bang. We had multiple trade parties, we had a grand inauguration and that forced a lot of people to come to the property.
Got it.
And then obviously with our network in the industry, the business started flowing in.
But this is not a make or break bet. I mean, if this wouldn't have succeeded, it wouldn't have taken you down or anything.
It wouldn't have taken me down.
Okay, fine.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Just wanted to get the mindset. Okay,
that's right. Yeah. It was a venture. It was an opportunity. Yeah. So the CFS business started, and ports were getting more and more congested, and business just started flowing in. So we very quickly, within 2 years, we expanded 10 acres into 20 acres. And that business was very, very profitable at that time. So that is the success of the first CFS. And it also helped my, my LCL consolidation business. And here we are, ready to launch another new vertical of the business. So with that thesis, I started buying land in Chennai, in Mundra was coming up at that time. Then we bought land in Calcutta. We built a joint venture with Concor. In the next 3-4 years, I already have 5 CFSs in the country. And that became very profitable and very successful venture. So basically, my mindset is look at more opportunities as you operate and delegate that to most competent person. This is when my brother-in-law, who was running the transportation business, I got him in to run the CFS business, and he did a great job in Mumbai. So then that allowed me free time to travel internationally, to work on integrating all the networks, all the acquisitions that we have made, and made more and more acquisitions to create truly a global LCL. Now we are already launched our full container services and also launched our air freight services. So lot of my time went there, while the India CFS business and transportation business was managed by brother-in-law and few very senior people in the company. So that it was profitable. My valuation went up. I went public in 2006. My private equity did not sell. They stayed in the company. Then I got Blackstone to invest in the company. They took 15%. So used all that money for building CFSs, buying land, and doing the global expansions and all that.
Nice.
So, and then I told you that we built all the systems and process and good people to manage finance, invested a lot in human resource leadership. We created a global regional organization to run each of the region. We have 6 regions, and each region is headed by a regional CEO. Under him, we have a regional finance head, regional HR head, IT head. So that way, we organized and created an executive committee, good board to review the businesses ongoing basis.
And the acquisition still continued?
Acquisition then continued. The last acquisition I did is, we did 3 acquisitions during COVID time. One was, of course, Gati. Gati happened just before COVID. So that timing-wise is a very bad acquisition. The business was shut for 6 months after soon after acquisition. And we went through a lot of other hassles also in the acquisition. Anyway, all that is behind. The company is doing well. So good management team, and good customer brand now already. But it took us 5 years to get it on track. So then we acquired the Scandinavian company called Nordicon. So that was a very good acquisition. We acquired a company in Germany. Although we were in Germany, we wanted to acquire our competitor to create a higher market share. So there were some issues, internally, externally. That acquisition didn't go that well. So in the middle of all that, we had a cyber attack, massive cyber attack. So we had to deal with that. There was a nightmare. So there many things happened in the Russia-Ukraine war happened. That brought the whole market down. Then we went on the entire restructuring of our companies, which we've been talking for over 10 years. Because we already built a good scale, and we had 4 different businesses all sitting under one company. And very difficult for people to really value our company, right? So in the process, we're getting a low end of the stick. And we also had a promoter shareholding which was close to 70%, and Blackstone was 15%. So very little liquidity in the market. We've also wanted to bring a sharper management focus and have independent boards to guide the management. So I thought that this is a right thing to do. Although we delayed it by 10 years, a lot of discussion happened. Some of my close friends were against it. They were saying, having business in one company always stands for each other in a good and bad time. You'll have more capital to invest from one company. But majority people said that, okay, it's best to do this. And then finally we did the 2 stage of demerger. In the first stage, we demerged all our CFS properties into a separate entity called Allcargo Terminal. And some of the warehousing, land bank and the assets, we moved into a separate entity called Trans India Real Estate. And in the last part of the demerger, we demerged our international business into a separate entity called Allcargo Global. That is yet to be listed. It should list now within a month. And Allcargo, the original Allcargo Logistics, acquired Gati or merged Gati into that, and our contract logistics business also into Allcargo Logistics. So now you have Allcargo Global, which does the entire supply chain, LCL, FCL, air freight under Allcargo Global. Allcargo Logistics has the domestic distribution, that is express distribution, largely for B2B. And then contract logistics, which is a high growth business, where we have largest chemical customers, e-com customers, auto companies, many other industries. They outsource their warehouse management to a company like ours. These are large format warehouses. And that also gave us the opportunity to build the logistic parks. So anyway, so that's separate story altogether. So Allcargo Logistics has distribution and contract logistics, and Allcargo Terminal, the entire CFS network is under that. There we are looking at building inland container depot outside Delhi. We already have the land. So that is the path that company will take in the future to get into rail, get into port terminals or anything which is infrastructure led. Domestic logistics will be focused on by Allcargo Logistics.
Got it.
And international business under Allcargo Global. So that's how 4 companies are now. All are traded, all have independent managing directors, independent boards, independent CFOs.
But it has your common vision, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question though I have is that
Yes.
the last 15 years,
Yes.
in some sense, as a journalist, I kind of think of myself having as a ringside view, but
Yes.
it's a view and not in the hammam, if you will, right?
Yeah.
And there has been the taper tantrum, there has been the GST-led
Yes.
changes that have come in. There was
Yes.
COVID,
Yes.
then the Russia-Ukraine conflict, now
Yes.
recently this conflict. In some sense,
Yes.
the last 15 years have been longer than
Yeah.
the previous 150 years, if you will,
Yes.
maybe.
Absolutely.
In some sense, right?
Yes.
Decades have been done in years. How
Yeah.
difficult is it to run a global company having operations across, having cultures of different nations
Yes.
all together? How difficult is it currently?
It keeps
Or-
on our toes
I can
all
imagine.
the time. It keeps
Yeah.
on our toes.
No, but that's putting it mildly,
yes,
sir.
Yes, yes. No, I think the most important thing I feel that we have to build the internal resilience first.
Could you
When I
explain?
say internal resilience, I mean financially, that any shock doesn't disturb your organization's financial capabilities, number one. Number two, you have strong leadership team, very strong support system in every country which matters. See, for us, we are a global company, but the 15 to 20 countries that matters. So those 15, 20 countries, you must have very strong management team and regional heads to manage that. And in the top, we always have to have a very strong views on how the business are running and take very quick actions to see whatever that need to be done. For example, I must admit that we are a company with very low performance and very high in investment to support the team. Because we are one of the first company to develop a platform called EQ360, which gives you ability to book the cargo from anywhere to anywhere in the world, LCL, FCL and air freight. We have complete visibility of your shipment, any given time where it is, right? You can plan your entire scheduling of your shipments because we have sailing schedules in that platform. If you want to move a cargo, you know which ship you can plan to and when.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously all that can be possible only if you have a very good data.
Agreed.
And very good data will only happen if you have a good processes and standard disciplined way of working.
Is this the need of your business, or would you have done this even if you were doing some other industry?
My competitors have not done it. So, so that's why we are really special. And our customers say that.
No,
I'm not saying
you
it.
would have embarked upon this whole systems data thing,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if the business
Yes.
did not require the way your current business does. You would still have done it.
I would have done it because that's in my DNA. Because
And you think it's important, of course.
It's very, very important. Sustainability is very important for me. For me, I don't want to reach the top and then fall. Right? I want to be in the top and be there or grow from there. And when I'm there, I must have the financial health and mental bandwidth to take another leap of opportunity if that emerges itself. Today, I'm not in the mood to take any big leap because today we have a lot of work still to do and the crises are everywhere. So the resilience part, I need to be very, very, very careful right now. So right now, I'm not looking at any acquisitions. Our focus is internal, how to leverage what we have, how to get the best out of what we have, and how to build a greater brand, attract greater talent, and automate, use AI, reduce our workforce when there is, create that, situation where the machines can take a lot of the workload and redeploy people to something which is more valuable, right? So that mission to continuously improve and continuously get the better ROI and continuously look at more efficient, sustainable way of working. So we are one of the first companies also to adopt the carbon neutral goals for 2040, right? So we have committed to be carbon neutral by 2040. Ambitious. I hope that we'll be able to achieve it. But we have invested in people, we invested in creating that awareness within the organization and trying our level best.
But I guess ambition is what defines you.
Exactly.
So, which brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
You mentioned about either remaining at the top or growing from there.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, you publicly stated that you want to turn Allcargo into $1 billion entity.
Yes.
Right? From where you are now, it may not be too difficult, but two questions I have to that. Are there timelines that you have mentally for that?
Yeah.
And two, with the rupee depreciation, the dollar, $1 billion keeps on becoming a larger number.
See, now that is a statement I made about 7-8 years ago.
Right.
So, in the meanwhile, if you look at it which billion we're really talking about, if it is revenue, we already over $1.5 billion.
Course. I was thinking market cap, to be honest.
Market cap combined, we have achieved over $1 billion already.
Combined you have?
Combined we have. And then of course, the whole crisis happened and market caps have come down. But, we believe that the company is still great. I don't get influenced by the market capital because it doesn't really matter to me, because I'm not raising money, or I'm not selling my stocks, or I've not pledged my stock ever in my life. So market cap doesn't really bother me as much. Of course, you like to have a better market cap because that helps the investors. Obviously, they make money. So that's one of my main mission, that people who invest, they must make money out of my company. So that's my philosophy. But that sometimes markets don't support, then nothing you can do. You do your best and rest you leave it to God Almighty, right?
Yeah. But as a leader and as a truly exceptional leader, what also matters is what people think of you.
Yeah.
What matters is
Of
what
course.
the world thinks of you.
Of
And
course.
as I did some bit of research,
Yes.
as we spoke about earlier, you've been awarded with a very high, or the highest civilian honor, if I'm not wrong, in Belgium.
That's correct.
If I'm not wrong, the One World, One Family Global Leadership Award, in some sense.
Yes.
And maybe many more that I have missed as well.
Sure.
What drives these things? I mean, is it the processes that you said? Is it the person that you are? What could it be?
I think I'm really thankful for people recognizing me for being worthwhile, that they consider to give those kind of awards. I'm really, really honored and very happy and really thankful for them. These recognitions are very nice to have, right? Definitely. I mean, that is something I think I hold very dearly to me, and that adds more responsibility, right? Like I told you earlier, I want to be on top, but don't want to come down, right? I want to only grow from there, right? So in that sense, these recognitions are great, and that brings responsibility to sustain them. Expectations from internal, our employees, our team. I hope I mentioned enough time. My team is extremely valuable to me.
I was still going to come to that in the next question, but yes, please continue.
Sure. Yes, because if you don't have a good employer brand, it's very hard to build and retain great talent, right? So employer brand is very important for me, and for that you got to be always very fair and create enough opportunities for people to grow, be empathetic to them, also demand a lot from people. When you are in challenging times or even otherwise, that process of reviews and process of assessment, goal setting, KPI setting, reward or punish or whatever it is. All these are very important part of the whole people management side.
And the second part of my question was therefore going to be about what it means to have a truly diversified workforce. Because if I'm not wrong, and I noted this down, that you advocate, diversity and inclusion.
Yes.
And I think in some posts, whether it was LinkedIn or X, I'm not sure, but you were celebrating that International Women's Day, you highlighted in the power of a diversified workforce.
Right.
So you truly believe that diversity is not just optics in some sense, or the need to do, but you believe that there is power behind it.
Yes, 100%. I think women bring a tremendously different perspective and value in their leadership and in their style and their nature at workplace. I'm a big believer in that. we all know our sisters, our mothers, how passionate, how caring they are. And that doesn't mean men don't have it. Of course, men also have it. And women bring that compassionate, bring that characters into the workforce. I'm a big believer in that. And I have very senior women leaders in the organization. So diversity, therefore, is very critical in my mind. And partly in our business, fortunately, it is easier for women because of their own obligations. They may not be able to spend so much of time, travel. So very few percentage of women who really are able to do what we really expect in a leadership roles many times because of various constraints. Very, very important part. So therefore the number shrinks. If I have a choice, I would like to have at least 30-40% women leadership also in the company.
Right.
Or maybe 50, or
and
maybe
the reason
more.
Is not talent, right? You're saying there are various other constraints.
Various other constraints, exactly. So that's, I think, is a depriving factor to have more women leadership.
But you have a high degree of
we do. But may not be at the leadership level, maybe low.
Okay.
But at a workforce level, it is in EQ it is more than 50%. I think combined as a group we are close to about 40%.
Got it. Okay. Well, which is fairly impressive as well. Okay. The other aspect is I heard you again say at least 4 or 5 times in this conversation thus far that you believe in delegation.
Yes.
Now, please tell us the importance of this because I'll tell you why.
Yes.
In some sense, delegation will change because an AI-driven world will possibly reduce the quantum of workforce required to do the same kind of task. Presumably, I do not have an answer. I don't think too many people have.
Right.
But presumably reduce the quantum of workforce required as well.
Yes.
And therefore, there will, as I understand from whatever little I have read, that there will be a lot of mid-level people required. Maybe a lot of junior-level people will not have the jobs.
Right.
How does a leader do delegation at such a point of time? This will be very important, sir, because a lot of people who have started off their businesses in the last 3, 4, 5 years would be searching for a way forward. How would you do if you were in that role?
See, I think the AI part is still unfolding.
Right.
And the business is ongoing. If you don't serve a customer well today, you lost him. The customers give you second chance.
Any industry.
Or any industry, right? So first focus is always customer. Customer should be satisfied. And customer should feel secure to do business with us. We cannot just say that tomorrow we don't need 20% of the workforce, right? So first we'll have to invest, and we have to, if you don't invest, if you don't become relevant, we may not be even survive because our business are very low margin businesses. So we cannot afford to miss any opportunity to be efficient.
But that would be true for any business.
Any
right?
business.
You are advising this to any business.
Any business.
Any businesswoman, any business.
Absolutely, absolutely. But any business is fine, but each business has to do it.
Right.
Correct. So I am standing on own foot. Tomorrow something goes wrong, there is no bank or no institution is going to save you, right? So me means I'm talking about my company.
Sure.
So so that's where the challenge comes. That it has to be a fine balance, and let me put it this way: that we are in a great advantage to do it, which our competitors may not be.
You as in Allcargo.
We as Allcargo, because we have complete control on our data.
Sure.
We are already in the cloud. We have one global operating system. We have a platform, like I told you. So we have done everything which even a large shipping line has not done it at a much lower cost.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we are resilient in that sense. So we'll have to see. And we have an organization which focuses on operational excellence, right? So how do we improve the process? Like for example, in the US, almost 50% of inquiries already answered by an AI agent. On the emails, and now the voice is getting launched very soon. We have 1/3 of our workforce operate from Mexico, for dedicated for USA. 1/3 of our workforce for Asia is operated from Cebu. Our financial system is half of them, there's a long way to go, is operated from an outsourced entity here in India, right? So a lot of these things have already happened over the years.
Okay.
So that's a trend and the mindset that we already demonstrated, and we have people dedicated to do only that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the learnings? I mean, from different facets. Now, we've spoken a lot about your business. I want to just, the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I want to divert away from there.
Yeah.
Let's say golf. I believe you are an avid golfer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What does golf, for example, teach you about business and leadership? What does reading teach you about business and leadership?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about it.
Yes. I'm not great reader as much as I should. I watch more sometimes YouTube videos whenever I get time. Yeah. So golf again is my passion to sport. I'm a natural sport lover. I either swim, I work out, I play golf, I go to the gym. So I'm very naturally attracted to sports. So golf, and I'm very closely connected to nature. I love nature, and I like to be at best destinations where nature offers the best, right? So golf gives you that opportunity, right?
Yes.
So you go to some of the finest places in the world, most beautiful, and the sports combination. So golf teaches you two things. One is get the best out of yourself, because golf you're playing against you. You're not playing against anybody else. If you play well with your own skills, you beat your competitor, right? And not competitor, the person you play with. So it teaches you discipline, it teaches you focus, it also make you learn a lot, because the people you play with, you spend 4 hours with them. So you always get to talk something, and it's a combination of internal focus and also take time to talk to the next person. It could be somebody who already known to you, but many times you play with somebody else, because in tournaments they place with you different people. So you get to meet a lot of people, interact with a lot of people. And of course it helps you to defocus from your regular thought process all the time, So yeah, I think pretty much that's what it is. And it's, of course, you're under the sun, so you get some vitamin D.
Okay, then tell me, what are your recommendations or teachings for people who are building out their careers, their business right now? Because you've learned a lot by one, working hard, as you've said.
Yes.
By maybe sports like golf at this stage of your life as well.
Yes.
Because I'm sure it is an expensive
No,
sport.
I've been
You probably
playing
didn't do it
for
at
the
25.
last, I've been playing since the last 30 years.
Oh, 30 years, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
but
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
I stand corrected then.
Sure.
But I'm sure when you started off that at the Mumbai docks, golf was too expensive a game.
I never knew golf, so I didn't know what golf is.
Yeah, so you've learned two various facets.
Correct.
The 2 or 3 things that either somebody who's doing a job or is starting to build out a business should definitely keep in mind.
Yes. No, I think number one is discipline. Hard work is given. Everybody has to work hard.
Okay,
right?
fine.
So without hard work, nothing happens. Courage. Take the courage to take a decision and make a choice, but with a lot of thought process, a lot of analysis. Some of the things what I did, if you given me another chance, probably I would not have done it.
Like?
Right? Some of the acquisitions I could have done more time, more effort, more, or hiring some people, for example, where I could have done a lot more diligence. Yes. Right? And some of the choices you make, you could be more data driven. And put more thoughts behind it. So that's something which is. The third is, I think, the resilience. Good times and bad times are like a day and night. So you can't expect to go only in one direction. Things will hit you. You have to be prepared for a black swan event. Right? If you look at it in the last 5 years, we had so many challenges. I mean, starting with financial crisis way back in 8 and 9, then the India crisis that happened. Subsequent to that, then you have COVID, then you have had a cyber attack, then we had Russia-Ukraine war, then you have the tariff issue with America, then you have now the Israel war. So this is very, very, very hard on organizations. And you have to build resilience.
So I got 4, right?
Yes.
In some sense, courage,
Yes.
resilience, being data driven.
Yes.
You've three and put in a lot of data behind these decisions as well. So
Yes.
two things which
And values. I think that's very important because you have to build that brand. People very quickly can find out what you are,
Wow.
right? So, so value-driven organization will the only way to sustain.
Okay. Everybody that we've spoken to on the exceptionals has also said that, and it's different for different people, of
Yes,
course, but
of
they've
course.
said that
Yes.
families played a big role
Yes.
in their
Correct.
in your
Yes.
business decisions
Yes.
or business career. How important a role family has played. Your offspring, I believe,
Yes.
your son, daughter.
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
talk a bit about that?
Very, very important. I mean, very critical. It's not only family. I consider my team as family.
Nice.
Okay. So may not be exactly their blood relatives or married or whatever, but the respect and the affection and the standing by them. This is what families do, right? For me, that is equal for all my people, and people know that. That's why they trust me, right? I think that's very critical. That what family brings most times is tremendous amount of loyalty, and there is a real respect and love, right? So my brother-in-law Adarsh is now with me for 30 years, and he done tremendous work. I had my brother who used to be in the business, who also done extremely good work. Then he wanted to, somebody who could not adjust to the, many things. And then he went on his own. He's not started any business. He's now an investor. My son, he's now already in the business for about 7 years. And he's the one who, straight from college, I used to engage him from the age of 12, 13, talking to him always about one of the other thing, most important thing which built me as a person is also the whole, the Indian philosophy, Indian spiritual teachings, right? I'm a big believer in Sri Ram because the way he led his life, Adarsh Purushottam, right? Lord Krishna, how clever and how people person he was. Arjuna with a tremendous amount of focus. Karna sacrificed everything for a friend, for his mother. Bhima, who's loyal and there for you for anything. So the classic great examples in our own spirituality. So these are things that I really relate to. So coming back to family, yes, my son was involved in the whole technology piece. He's still involved. And to move him into a leadership role, we now handed over China, Japan and Korea under him in the last 1.5 years. So he's done some great job there already. So he's setting up new offices in China. We bought a warehouse in Korea. We turned around Japan, which was making loss for us. So that's a big market. That's a market which pumps business to the rest of the world. So he's now the deputy managing director. So he's also involved in networking with the startups, many tech companies. He's creating his own ecosystem of younger people of his types, where he learns each other. He's a member of UO. He'll become a member of IPO, of course. So he went with me for many of these leadership events. We are a member of what do you call that? Owners Forum. Owners Forum and also CII Family Network. We are members of both. And what it teaches you is these networks bring the old families from Europe, from Asia, from the US, how they have created sustainability, family sustainability, and how they keep family and business separately, and how the most competent person within the family or outside the family is chosen to run the business. There are classic examples of that, and there are great people come and talk about those things. The family comes and talks about it. So it creates that succession mindset and expectation of children also from the business, because they also know that the business you have to separate from your personal lifestyle, right?
Okay.
So those lessons are taught to them very early. So he's happy to be running the business, or he's happy to be in the board and give directions and future path to the company.
Interesting.
So,
I'm going to wrap up this conversation with a bit of a rapid fire.
Sure.
So this is out of the blue. You don't get time to think.
Yes.
You just have to answer at the spur of the moment. Yes.
Okay. I'll try.
A bit of Bollywood here. Yeah? Karan Johar does it very well, but I'm going to make an attempt as well. Favorite mythology reading or listening or character?
Yeah. Sri Ram.
Sri Ram.
Yes.
Favorite golf course?
So many in India, Kalahar.
In India, Kalahar. In Ahmedabad. Outside India?
The one I played, Pebble Beach.
Which is that?
In San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw
outside San Francisco.
Outside San Francisco.
Yeah.
Throw in another question related to that. A favorite holiday destination? Since you play so much golf, you must be traveling a lot for that too.
South Africa, Cape Town.
South Africa, Cape Town.
Yes.
Okay. Between a golfing holiday or a nature holiday,
yes,
which one would you choose?
it's the same, right?
It may not be the same. There might be a natural destination which is beautiful, more beautiful.
It depends on number of days. Golf you can play 3-4 days, but your nature holiday can be longer. You can stay 20 days and all that.
Fair call. You're a movie buff too. Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh Khan? Amitabh Bachchan.
Yes.
Okay, fine. A Bollywood
I love
movie?
Shah Rukh Khan.
You love Shah Rukh Khan?
Yeah, but Amitabh is number one for sure.
And a Bollywood movie or a Hollywood movie?
Hollywood.
Hollywood movie.
Hollywood.
Okay, very interesting.
Yes.
Last but not the least, if you were not a businessman, what would you be?
Singer.
Aha, okay. Why not we end this with a song?
Yeah.
Choose your favorite song and let's end this conversation with a song that you can sing for us. You can take your time, think of a song and then sing it. Or it could be
Everybody
a
knows
song.
me in my company. I like the song of Rajesh Khanna called Chingari.
Let's go ahead with it. Why not?
चिंगारी कोई भड़के तो सावन उसे बुलाए. I can't
Sawan
remember.
jo agan lagaye.
लगाए.
Usse kaun bujaye. Interesting. Very nice. Could you talk a bit about you being on the board of IIM, right?
Yes.
And what does that bring to you? Because you spoke about Owners Forum,
Yes,
you spoke about a few other
yes,
things.
yes.
What about this? Also, if I can actually squeeze in one more thing there.
Sure.
Early in your life, if you were thinking of serving a ship to being at the apex position of Mumbai port,
Yeah, Mumbai port.
body
Mumbai
as well.
port. Yeah, yeah.
So in
the
some
board
sense,
of Mumbai port. Yes.
Yeah, just talk a bit about that.
Yes. To answer the last question first, Mumbai board was a 2-year tenure, and it was very special because I started my career as an executive in the Mumbai port, and you look up to Mumbai port like a parliament. You know, a politician looks at parliament, getting into a parliament as an MP. So to getting into Mumbai board is like becoming an MP, is a kind of a feeling, right?
Okay.
Comparable. About IIM, what is special for me is during COVID time, I got a call from the ministry. I thought somebody was fooling me. He said that, Mr. Shetty, do you know that you've been appointed as the chairman of board of NITI at that time, National Institution of Industrial Engineering, very famous college.
Yes.
As you know, next to IIT, 65-acre campus, and only teaches masters after your engineering. At a CAT rate of 97%, they admit students. And I thought, why me among all the people? And they said, obviously they didn't answer that question. So then later I found out that they wanted somebody from the supply chain business, successful in establishing a company with a global presence. It was the right fit to lead a education institution, which I'm just a graduate, right? I'm not even done my MBA. I'm not even an engineer. So, that really surprised me. So then the director came and with the letter and everything. I was staying at that time in Ambi Valley in my house there during COVID. So that's where it's a great moment of my life, because to lead something like that, I don't know. It was fear and joy both, because fear was what will I do and how I can help, uncertainty, whether I'll be able to add value. So fortunately for me, the director is one of the most capable person I have come across. Very passionate, very hardworking person called Manoj Tiwari. He was one of the senior dean in IIT Kharagpur. So he was appointed a year earlier, and then I was appointed. It was directly managed by the Ministry of Education at that time. And Ministry of Education, have their own processes, involvements, and that was kind of becoming a little bit of a problem to run the institution, which they also know, they also realized. So then we, after I took over many deliberations, what are the priorities? There are many issues of the past, so we solved one by one, including the members in the board and all that. Once that part is done, then we thought that what can that we do? So we thought that the best thing to do is to propose to the ministry that put us under IIM Act, because there is no IIM in Mumbai, or no good management, top level management school in a city like Mumbai, which is a financial capital, which is such a big city, cosmopolitan. So we thought that that will be the best decision we can make. And then we approached the government and told them they liked the idea. They appointed a committee within a few weeks, and that committee made a recommendation, obviously. And then the recommendation was accepted. Within 6 months, the entire thing went through, just flew. It got approved in Parliament, Rajya Sabha, approved by first approved in the PMO, then went to the President to sign. So all that happened within 2 years of my tenure. So that's how it became IIM Mumbai. And then that benefited in every way, right? The placements went up, the remuneration to the students went up. The students who joined as NEET became IIM Mumbai graduates. The biggest joy that I could experience with the energy that I could see. Mr. Pradhan came for the convocation. Mr. P.K. Mishra came for the convocation. So it was become a very celebrated institution. I was fortunate to be the chairman of the board. And now I'm on my second term. They never given a second term. So we are now investing over 1,000 crores to increase the capacity to 3 times than what it is today.
Wow.
So though it's approved in the board, the entire plan and architectural side, everything is ready. We appointed a contractor, NCC as a contractor, most likely. I mean, we're not issued a LOI, but so that part is all done. There are some clearances, final pieces of clearance are. The idea is that anyhow we should start the work by the 15th of May before the monsoon, so that at least the mobilization and all the initial work can get started. So it's going to be one of the most beautiful campuses. So keep the fingers crossed.
Cross fingers. As a Mumbaiker, I can't be more happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But fabulous to get such a great institute as well. But it's been a delight, Mr. Shetty, to talk to you today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us on the Exceptionals, and I look forward to many more engaging conversations with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Pleasure is mine, and it's really a pleasure and honor to be here.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
I hope it will inspire many other young people like what you intended, and give them some guidelines and some ideas about how to build and sustain and build to last institutions.
That's the goal. That's the goal, if you will. Try and tell exceptional stories. And on behalf of Nuvama Private and NDTV Profit, viewers, thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of The Exceptional.